EA is in some hot water here. The stock has tanked nearly 20% after Dragon Age of the Veilguard, after it reported that Dragon Age of the Veilguard and its EA Sports FC 25 failed commercially and failed to meet the company's expectations. Roll this up over at fandompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. I encourage you to head on over, become a paid subscriber so we can bring articles like this to you. We are fully reader funded and it costs just $5 a month. So, in a press release aimed at tempering expectations for its upcoming Q3, quarter three, fiscal year 25 results, EA revealed this. The company now projects a mid-single-digit decline, with global football accounting for the majority of the change. So, noting that the company is now in decline, and it primarily came from their FIFA FC, what they're calling global football franchise. And remember, they just released FC 25 in September, at the end of September within this quarter. So they just released a brand new FC game and they're seeing decline. It's really bad, especially because they note this. Global football had experienced 2 consecutive fiscal years of double-digit net bookings growth. So they had 2 consecutive fiscal years of double-digit net bookings growth with their global football. Now with the release of FC 25, they're saying that the company overall is going to see a mid-single-digit decline with the global football accounting for the majority of the change. They go on to say, however, the franchise experienced a slowdown as early momentum in the fiscal third quarter did not sustain through to the end. As a result, EA revises its outlook for global football to end the fiscal year down mid-single digit at the midpoint of the new outlook. So it's trending downwards. No explanation as to why. I'm not sure if there's any kind. I haven't looked at the sports games in a long time, whether they're putting any kind of DEI or woke stuff in it, if they're doing any kinds of stuff with like gender or any of that stuff. But I would wager it's probably just maybe attrition. People are just kind of maybe fed up with playing the same game over and over. Like, what do they really add to these new games? There isn't a lot of new additions. There isn't a lot of new innovation. It is pretty much the same game that you could have bought 2 years ago, 3 years ago, sometimes even a decade ago. There isn't a lot of new stuff that they add to it. I mean, I guess you get new rosters and things like that, but for the most part, the gameplay is pretty much the same. And there isn't a lot of, as I said, anything new or innovation. So maybe that's why. Maybe people are finally fatigued and they've decided, hey, I don't need to spend money on FC 25. I've got FC 24. I'll keep playing that. The company did talk about Dragon Age the Veilguard as well. It said, separately, Dragon Age engaged approximately 1.5 million players during the quarter, down nearly 50% from the company's expectations. So interestingly, they don't actually say Dragon Age the Veilguard explicitly, which I think they're trying to be a little bit Weasley with the language here. And that could mean they're referring to their back catalog that is Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Inquisition, and that's incorporated in this entire thing. And it's not just Veilguard, which is what they're trying to imply there. And I think this 50% expectations, I think that is, that's probably trying to lead people astray as well. We know from Ubisoft, Mark Alexis Cote, he says that these big AAA games, they need to sell between 8 to 12 million to break even. Even at 3 million, if you double 1.5, that's not enough, right? Your expectations had to have been a lot higher than that. So I don't really trust them when they're saying that it's down nearly 50% from the company's expectations, especially when they never really shared what those expectations for the game were going to be, because they included in there, as we'll get to here, their like net bookings expectations. But again, it released at the same time as FC 25 did, so those expectations are built in. So you'd have to do a lot of like assumptions and math to kind of really home in on what their estimation was if we don't take them at their word, which I don't. Remember, they said that Dragon Age the Veilguard had breakout potential. Okay. So this is what the numbers are. they revealed that they have reduced their net bookings. It revealed it was reducing its expected net bookings for the third quarter from a range of between 2.4 billion and 2.55 billion to just 2.215 billion. So decreasing from around 200 million to 300 million dollars. It also reduced its entire yearly net bookings from between a range of 7.5 billion to 7.8 billion. So their entire yearly net bookings down 800 to 500 million dollars, $500 million to $800 million. I mean, massive reductions there on those expectations. The company also adjusted down its expected net revenue for the quarter. It previously shared it expected net revenue to be between 1.875 billion and 2.025 billion. It has reduced that to 1.883 billion. So still within that range, but on the lower end. And investors, the market, people who have EA stock were not too happy about these results. Mass sell-off happening. The stock price declined nearly 20% from $143.17 on January 22nd to $118.58 on January 23rd. The stock has continued to move downward today. As of writing, it currently sits at $115.69, down almost 3% for the day, and it was still kind of going down when I was looking at it. And then you can see over the 5 days, it's down 18.15%. If you would click that 1 month over on Yahoo, which is where I took this screenshot from, you would see that it was down 20% in 1 month. So stock significantly cratering. Not only is the stock cratering, but we've got a number of these financial advisors, analysts downgrading the stock as well. Bank of America securities analyst Omar Desuke, I'm not sure how to say his name. He downgraded the stock from buy to neutral and lowered the price forecast from $170 to $130. According to a Benzinga report covering his analysis, he mainly put the blame on the reason why he downgraded it was because of FC25. He says, without FC as a key growth, or the report said this, without FC as a key growth driver, the analyst finds it hard to see how EA can sustainably outperform the industry while improving its margins, since FC contributes to around 60% of EA's operating income, with Ultimate Team likely being one of its highest margin games. The enterprise leader also noted that analysts from BMO Capital Markets also downgraded the EA stock from an outperform rating to a market perform rating. BMA lowered their price forecast for EA from $160 to $145. So not looking good for EA, and they have only to blame themselves. Dragon Age the Veilguard obviously embracing the get woke, go broke agenda. Obviously embracing everything woke turns to crap. And when you are funding things like that, it probably affects your other studios. It affects everything else that you're doing. When you're embracing that agenda, it leads to things turning to crap. That's what happens. And that's what it looks like we're seeing here now as well. So let me know what you guys make of this, though. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, to always speak the truth, and never forget that everything woke does indeed turn to crap.